Hello, I'm Ryan Watkins and welcome to another episode of the Powder Keg Podcast Filmroom. Today we're going to be looking at how Jesse Minter has changed his Chargers defense over the bye week into the Week 13 game against the Las Vegas Raiders. So the biggest difference that you'll see is the Chargers have essentially changed how they fit the run and the principles around that. So what you see here is that they have switched to a 7-man or a neutral run fit spacing, which means they're committing more bodies to the box. They're not doing the minus run fits, which we have seen before, with 6 box players having to have 2 responsibilities each. This time, everything's been simplified. So as you can see, late into the picture, Derwin James comes in as the 7th man into the fit, which means that everyone has an individual gap when there's 11 or 12 personnel on the field. Now, the best way to get to these fits is obviously to play man coverage, and the Chargers did a ton more of that. They almost tripled their output for the season and increased their EPA per drop back to an extreme big difference. And they did that by staying in the middle of the field close route. So that's when you have a single high safety over the top and you get the other safety rolling down into the box. The best part about this is that it increased the effectiveness of when they did run too high. Then that could have been Geno Smith and the lack of attack from the Raiders, but also Minter didn't rely on just normal cover one. He went into split field looks like the one we're seeing here, where he had one capping over one side and then a triangle system to the other to work to Brock Bowers and eliminate him as a threat, which is something they did repeatedly throughout the day. It matters a lot how you roll your coverages because it needs to marry the run and pass well together. So how you get your safety down into the box. Minter did this in 2 ways: strong and weak. Both work with a lot of success, and the front paired with them in a beautiful way. And he obviously had a complete control over this game. You can see here that you've got Tony Jefferson added into the box, which means that people can fill on the backside, and that weak zone that killed the Chargers in recent weeks has become not as effective. This was another really interesting look for Minter, where he had the edges on one side and a linebacker on the other, which means that he paired up the talents of the positions well with what he wanted to do. He wanted the edges to play the front side and attack and stack across, and on the backside he wanted some stalwarts to stop two gapping, and then we had the faster players who were able to fill either side of those. By far the biggest asset of this is just the simplicity that the players were able to play fast because they had simple answers. You can see here, before the motion, they were all going to the right-hand side of their gaps. And then once the motion comes, they make a quick switch. Nobody has to think about it. They all go to the left and allow Tony Jefferson, the extra box player, to roll in the opposite way to what Derwin James was if the run was going to be going the other way based on the motion. The biggest thing I did not expect, though, is the amount of cover zero they run. Over 14% cover zero in this game, and it was in midfield. It wasn't just by the goal line. So you can see here that he drops 2 people off from the line. He sends another 5, but they've got to account for all 7 that were on the line, including Deshaun Hand, who dropped off here, which is very clever. He clearly trusted his players to execute these zeros, and also he used them really well in tandem. So he blitzed Derwin James 6 times in the week, but also you can see here that they've bracketed Brock Bowers. This is something you'll see repeatedly throughout the day in really interesting looks, and he did it so that they could not attack the blitzes. You can see here Bowers is in the apex, and we're blitzing from there. So they think, okay, usually throw the blitz. No, because they've bracketed directly behind it. And this was a vital one because you can see here, obviously, Tony Jefferson got the amazing pick off the back of that pressure that was created. The ease of these reads was what set up the players to play well. Thule and Perriman here played this very well. This was the same toss wind-back play that the Jags used to erase the Chargers defense. And you can see here they've become more natural playing it. The edges crash down, the linebackers can fold around them either direction. Even Nadav Iowe, who has not had a good time against the run, was able to 2-gap around Brock Bowers here for great success. It was an all-round effort. But this was led by Thule. He was the true difference maker in this game, the absolute star. The way he played both the run and the pass was with sheer effort, and he was flying with complete freedom. Here he sets the hard edge all on his own. You can see everyone else is playing off the back of him, trusting that he has it in hand. This shift to the neutral spacing and man with the midfield close coverage worked overall. We'll see how it works going forwards, but it's encouraging to see Minter make such great changes in the bye week. Thanks for watching.